Okay, good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Igbere People Forum live broadcast. So today we have a special guest in the person of the Executive Director of Center for Citizens with Disability, Mr. David Anyaele. Also joining us today is one of the moderators of the Igbere People Forum, Engineer Ukaegbu Orji. So we shall go ahead and introduce ourselves by, and then we take it from there. So first of all, let me start by once again introducing myself. My name is Mr. Ukaegbu. I'm a native of Agmakpo, Igbere, in Bende local government area of Nigeria. So, Mr. William, go.
My name is Williams Ukaegbu Orji from Ndeori, Eziama, Igbere.
Mr. David, go.
Okay, my name is David Obinna Anyaele. I'm from Eluamasa. I'm Orji, Autonomous Community, Igbere, in Bende, the local government area of Abia State, Nigeria, West Africa, Global. Thank you.
Thank you. So, first of all, we want to apologize to our guest who has been waiting for us since this program was supposed to start. So we had some technical difficulties, which is understandable. So, but we apologize. So now let's go straight into this program. So the first question I will be asking is to Mr. David. Yeah, could you tell us how you became a person with a disability and tell us what, yeah, go.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm an Abba brought up. I was raised at 63 Dikenafa Road, Abba. Between Mungwa Road, Aziz, up to Aglamna. These are the main community where I was raised. Any Igbere man or woman that live within that vicinity may know me. From there, from Dikenafa, we moved to Aja Road, 41 Aja Road. That was our residence. From Aja Road, we moved to Emole Street near off Aglana. These are the places where I was raised, and from there, Ntosoro, in Ungwa Road side, So I was raised as a businessman. I started as a clearing and forwarding agent. My boss, Wabureke Onoha, from Ibina Uku Igbere, was my boss. He trained me in clearing and forwarding. Well, I started that was in 1990. And before then, I decided to go into export. I was exporting to, Central Africa, Sao Tome and Principe, Southern Africa, in Angola. Thereafter, I got a proposal to make business activities around Liberia. While in Liberia, because of Liberian people hostility to ECOMOG peacekeeping operations in that country, I had to relocate to Sierra Leone after the government of then President Ahmed Tijan Kaba was restored. So while we were there, January 6, 1999, the rebel invaded Freetown. ECOMOG peacekeeping operations led by Nigeria, in the then ECOMOG commander, Brigadier General Maswe Kobe, declared a serious operation, what they call mopping operation, to push the rebels out of Freetown. In the process of doing that, the rebel, started attacking Nigerians, residents, civilians. Their collaborators, who are citizens in the town, we are leading them to house where Nigerians were staying. So on the 19th of January 1999, the rebel invaded my residence. I'm not the only one. They took me to where there are other Nigerians. In the process, we started arguing, I started begging them not to kill any Nigeria. Any amount they want, I'm going to pay them. I also requested them to go to my residence and my warehouse to loot anything they want to take. But let Nigerians, we are not part of the decision to send ECOMOG to Freetown, Sierra Leone. Well, in my presence, they start killing Nigerians. Benedict Ebuna was the first person to be massacred. So they cut his 2 hands. Benedict died. Then his elder brother, Emmanuel Ebuna, was also brought out. I was begging them. One of the commanders came to me and told me, say, I look familiar. I said, yes. He asked me whether I've been to Liberia before. I said, yes, I used to do business in Liberia. He asked me if I know a place called Red Light. I said, yes. I've stayed around the police academy in Pinsville, in Monrovia, Liberia. From there, we started talking. Well, I met him. He said, okay, he's coming. Later, he left and he came back. As he was running, he was shouting, he doesn't want to die because of a Nigerian man, that they should cut my 2 hands. So in the process, as I was trying to resist, the small boy who was leading the ECMO contingent, the small boy who was a member of the rebels, cocked his rifle, AK-47, around 12, 14 years old boy, and ordered me, if I resist, position my hand, they will open fire on me. It was then I gave them my left hand. I asked them to amputate. So they cut my left hand. I was crying, I was shouting. So they said I should bring out my right hand. I said, no, my right hand. I said, any amount you want, I'm willing to pay. Just leave this hand for me. Let me use this one to help myself. They said no, that if I resist, that they will open fire. It was when the boy cocked the rifle again, kicked me to open fire. Then I gave them my right hand, then he macheted it. While I was calling God, asking him to show mercy on me, the boys there said, why must I call God? He went and brought and poured on me. It was at that juncture that my coat was on fire. While the fire was going on, the commander came back again. I said, who set me on fire? That I should go and tell Nigerian government to stop attacking them in the name of ECOMOG. That Freetown is for Sierra Leoneans, not for Nigerians. That Ogaman should leave their land, but that's what they call Nigerians. Well, in the process, they off the fire. One of my foot to draw my. In fact, I was naked, so I left the place. I was just holding my hands like this as I was going. The blood was gushing. The burnt was also, excruciating. Well, I got to the place where a place called Ferry Junction. There was ECOMOG, firing going on. Well, I tried, by special grace of God, I saw a UN group who were monitoring the activities at the war front. They evacuated me to Connaught Hospital. While in Connaught Hospital, I was given first aid. The stop of my hand were refashioned, and from there, the treatment started. I was there then. The ECOMOG commanders heard about what happened to me. They sent the Nigerian military, the Nigerian ECOMOG contingent to come to the hospital to rescue me. So a team of military men came to the hospital. They evacuated me to military hospital in Freetown. From there, the treatment continued. Few days later, they brought a helicopter. They took me to Lunga Airport. From there, they brought a plane called Charlie. They used it to flew me to Lagos. I was admitted at Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, Yaba, on the 3rd of February 1999, where my condition were managed, led by Brigadier General Jonathan Aremu, as my medical consultant and the commandant of the hospital as well. Other team, Dr. Colonel, Dr. Azodo, and many of them, they all, collaborated and did the needful. And I must thank all our people who solidarized with me during that period. Igbere Welfare Union Lagos branch were very busy sending individuals to come and give me moral and emotional support. Families, friends, all those who contributed in one way or the other to support me during that hard time. I must appreciate them. From Freetown, Sierra Leone, where the likes of Tukuruma, who did her best. She's our church member. I'm a member of Seventh-day Adventist Church, so she did her best to make sure that I get the kind of opportunity I required, including the military people. You know, so that was what happened. That was how I lost my two hands. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. So we have a lot of questions. So I will ask William, go ask your question.
Yes, it's really painful having lost your businesses and in a hot situation. Then how did you survive when you were brought back to Nigeria?
Yeah, thank you so much. Immediately, after my discharge from the military hospital, Yaba, on the 30th of August, 1999, the military high command sent a letter to the then Abia State government led by Chief Orji asking them to support my rehabilitation. They also sent signal to the federal government, Ministry of Rehabilitation, Ministry of Sports and Social Development to contribute to ensure that I'm given rehabilitation. Unfortunately, that effort did not bear the desired result. Effort to secure the support of our people, the first person I met to discuss this with was Chief Chris Uche, who happens to be a special advisor to the then governor. He said, okay, I should come to government house. I came to government house. He introduced me to Mo Moko, who was also a SA or PA to the then governor. You know, I followed him up, but Umoko, in his wisdom, destroyed all my documents in my presence, asked me to go, that he will not support me, that he will not, because of me, to enter trouble, that the governor is not interested, that he's not interested in supporting me. So it was hectic for me. So from there, I left to Abuja. I met with Senator Ikenwachukwu. Ikenwachukwu asked me, why did I come to Abuja to get rehabilitation, whereas my kinsman is the governor? I said, I couldn't get support. But before then, I went to Chief Iboko Imiboko. I pleaded with Chief Iboko Imiboko, begging him to see how he can support me. It was Chief Iboko Imiboko that gave me to Abuja to meet with Senator Ikenwachukwu to see if I can get support at the federal level. Ikenwachukwu said no, that the best place that they're supposed to support me is Abia, where that my kinsman is the governor. Well, I took the document. He gave me a letter with the one Oko gave to me, a copy of it. I met Chief Debomonia, I'm the then Minister for State for Foreign Affairs. Chief Debomonia also said the same thing. He said, I shouldn't have come to Abuja because of this, that Orji Sokalo is in a better position as the governor to support and get my rehabilitation. So he also gave me a letter and said he's going to, I should give it to him, you know, that they are asking him to, you know, to help me. I took the letter, I gave it to his then Chief of Staff, T.A. Orji. You know, he said, okay, that the governor is traveling, that when he comes back, that he will assist me, that I should come back. Well, all effort going out at all those failed. I was rejected. I was you know, abandoned, isolated, discriminated, abused by the then Abia State government. Out of this frustration I had, on the 2nd of October, year 2000, I had to leave Abia State and ran to Lagos. When I was coming to Lagos, I don't know where I was going. I don't have a residence. It was then my friend, Diko Hakwe, he's late now. Diko Hakwe, you know, I was thinking of going to his house so that I can stay with him. That was year 2000. Unfortunately, that week I came to Lagos. That was the week Dick died. Diko Hakwe died that week. So it was so painful for me. I started looking for a place. I stayed with one of my family member, one of my uncle, you know, in Agoda area, but he couldn't walk. In fact, I was a destitute in Lagos. I was moving from one place to the other, looking for a place to stay. Thank God I was able to get a place. In the course of trying to get rehabilitation then, because that was my major concern, I wrote the same letter I wrote to Abia State government. I wrote the same letter to the then governor of Lagos State, Mr. Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In his wisdom, he wrote a letter immediately, sent a letter to me, requesting me to go for medical board, requesting the Lagos State Ministry of Health to take adequate measure to make sure that I'm rehabilitated immediately. I was also engaging with the media, seeking for support, asking them to help me. In one of the occasions, I got in touch with Senator Onyekachi Onyekwere. He's from Isialangwa. He was like, I know your brother, Orji Zokalo. Why is he not supporting you? I said, I don't know. I've tried to reach him. He said, okay, wait. One day, Orji Zokalo came to his house, to visit him, and they were partying in that house. Onyekachi, sent message to me, said I should come and see him. Immediately, I got to the place, see him with Chief Orji Zokalo. I presented myself to him. He said, Chief Orji Zokalo, do you know this guy? He said, no, I don't know him. So, okay, he's your brother. He's your brother. He needs official hand. Please help him. I need him. Chief Orji Zokalo said, no problem. That I should come to his office, because that day was on Sunday. I should come to Abia House in Lagos on Tuesday. On Tuesday, my friend said no, that if he asked me to go, because I'm a person with disability, the security men may not allow me to see him. They may see me as a nuisance who came to, disturb there. That he himself will come on my behalf to collect whatever thing, whatever support he wants to give for my rehabilitation. Unfortunately, Chief Onyekachi went there. He was disappointed. He came back. He didn't want to tell me what happened, but he kept on asking me what I do to my brother. I said I didn't do him anything. It's my elder brother. It's my kinsman. Our path only crossed once when I sent technicians to go and repair his house in Aba in GRA while I was serving my boss one-on-one. That was the only day I've met him. Ever since then, we've not crossed. Well, I'm trying to give you this background, how difficult it was for me to rehabilitate, to get myself. It was Lagosians and individuals who contributed money, led by Mrs. Titi Adebayo. Mrs. Titi Adebayo, who happens to be an Adventist, my church member, she was worried over the rejection of the request to rehabilitate me by Abia State government and federal government. He organized a concert with Mr. Leko Ogubanwo, who was the then permanent secretary, Lagos State Radio. They organized, including Lagbaja, the musician. They mobilized them. Kunla Ajayi of Redeem that played for Adeboye. They all mobilized and they organized Operation Give David a Hand concert in Lagos. That was in 2002, December 30. Before you know it, they mobilized resources, including the Deji Adeleke, and others. They mobilized LXOT, many, I can't finish calling names now. They all mobilized money on the 3rd and 3rd. I was evacuated to Germany. We had cost then 5 million naira. That was how I got it. Other people who participated in raising the money for me include Abike Dabiri, who is now a special advisor to the president. Then he was the NTA newscaster. Abike was there. Many people, I can't remember all the names, and they participated in getting me. So when I came back, I started my business again. I started, before I got my official hands, I was in Yaba. I started my business by sewing. I was doing weaving and buttonhole at market. Anybody that is from Igbere knows that very well. So I was doing that weaving. That was in year 2001. No, year 2000 Lagos. So from weaving, we started doing buttonhole. From buttonhole, we started doing monogramming machine. In fact, I was the first person that brought monogramming machine in Yaba market. So from doing that monogramming buttonhole machine and the activities and shared buttonhole, I started my export business to Sierra Leone because my managers were still in Sierra Leone, you know, hanging around. So I was able to raise money. I started shipping back to Sierra Leone. With the little money I was able to raise, I started importing again. By 2007, my container started coming back from US and from South Korea. And that was how I started that economic meltdown of 2008, 2009. You know, I also attacked my finance. So the thing crushed my money because my goods were at Apapa Airport for more than 6 months. By the time we finished paying demurrage, everything, including money borrowed here, all the money, with exchange rate devaluation, the money I was using to do business collapsed. So I was asking God, how do I go about this? So that was how my brother, that was how I started back to my business, just to answer your question.
Okay, so thank you. I mean, it's shocking that ends with happiness, and at least you were able to survive. So, but let's move on. So how was this organization called Center for Citizens with Disability? How was it formed?
Thank you so much. You know, when I came back to Lagos, okay, before I came back to Lagos, when I was discharged from the hospital, before I was discharged from the hospital, the first day I walked with my 2 legs in the hospital, because, you know, I told you I suffered burnt. I suffered 3rd-degree burnt. So because of that, I always lie on the bed. I don't stand up. But they were able to manage me to the extent that I started walking. I started walking around April 1999. So the first time I walked, I went ward to ward, you know, to men's ward, to other wards, looking at other amputees, other wounded soldiers that came back from Sierra Leone. I was there supporting them, creating fun, making them to feel happy, you know, giving them what I call diversional therapy. It was there in 2002, I got the, you know, the spirit, God led me in the spirit to begin hospital ministry. I was serving as a member of the hospital ministry, Victory Sanctuary SDA Church, where I was supporting, I will go to hospital, meet newly amputees, I will do counseling for them, you know, share with them how to overcome amputation, the trauma, phantom pain, and others. I also pray along with them. So it was while we are doing that activity that, you know, many amputees were coming to me, you know, for support, for advice. In 2002, December, the organization Board of Trustees was inaugurated. It was then called Amputees Rehabilitation Foundation. That was the name of the organization, because those are my experience, my background as an amputee. I intended to focus on amputees only, because while I was struggling to get, you know, resources for rehabilitation, I was at the U.S. Information Center at Broad Street. No, not Broad Street. I was, Broad Street.
Somewhere in Lagos, just go ahead, yeah.
Yes, in Lagos. So there I had access to information about how amputees are managing their lives in US. So I started reading their works, their magazines. So I started communicating with them, and they were sending me materials on how to manage limb loss. There's one particular document they always send to me, call it Emotion, you know, published by Amputee Coalition of America. So that was how I started. So with that understanding, with the board inaugurated December 2002, when I came back from Germany after my medical treatment, we continue with the project. The project, because we don't have resources, I don't have capacity in running non-profit organization. I've never run it before. So I had to partner with Civil Liberties Organization. Civil Liberties Organization was one of the organizations that supported me in writing to the governments, either state government, federal government, you know, media campaign, you know, calling their attention on the need for them to rehabilitate me. So when I formed the organization, I met with them. They gave me an office where I should use. They gave me also office equipments, you know, to use for me to do the work I was doing. So while we were doing that work, we discovered that issue around amputee, the blind, the deaf, spinal cord injured, polio survivors, people with intellectual disability, we are common. And we also observed that we are using what we call charity-based approach to addressing disability issues. So we started campaigning, calling on government on issues using MDG, HIV/AIDS as a tool, calling on government for them to support people with disabilities, because government development plan in those days do not capture disability. So it is only for people without disability that government programs are designed to support. So we started from there. But in 2007, 2006, sorry, we had a meeting with DFID, the British Department for International Development, and I shared with them what we are doing in CCD, in Amputee Innovation Foundation, and how we want to run the organization. In the course of the conversation and the approach we are using, we discovered that using a medical model, which is what Amputee Innovation Foundation was using to address the disability issue, may not lead us far, because at Amputee Innovation Foundation, we are focusing on securing, medical rehabilitation, securing, materials to rehabilitate people. But we come to the realization that that approach may not support people's abilities to get the desired result they are looking for, because not every family may be all that financially balanced to take care of their own, because there are some people with disability, without government support, it will weigh the family down. Like my own situation, when I lost my limbs, our family collapsed financially. The whole family came down economically. So the same thing is also applicable to many families that have their own with disability, because in the course of focusing on the individual with disability, in the course of mobilizing resources to help him or her, the family income, the family resources will go down. So we decided to use charity right-based approach. In using that right-based approach, we also felt that it's important that we create a platform that will be accessible to the people with different forms of disability. In 2007, we changed the name of the organization from Amputees Rehabilitation Foundation to Center for Citizens with Disabilities, where we started using right-based approach, or more or less what we call social model of disability, to address disability issues. That was how CCD was formed.
Thank you. William.
Yes, since the formation of CCD, I want to know, is it open for every person with disability? Do they have requirements to enroll people with disability, generally for Nigeria and anywhere?
Yeah, CCD is a platform from persons with all forms of disability. Everybody with disability that wants to, be part of it, the person is welcome, at any time. Not only persons with disabilities, including persons without disability, because persons without disability also bears the brunt of what people with disabilities are going through. In every person with disability that is successful, if you check very well, you may have 3 or 4 or 5 persons without disability supporting such individual. Therefore, when disability occurs, not just the person with disability that is affected, family members, friends, people who are close to such individual are also affected. As such, CCD is open for persons with disabilities and persons without disabilities.
Okay, so for those who are with a disability, who I suppose needs more of this support, I'm just guessing, is there any number or contact information that they can call or reach in order to be part of this Center for Citizens with Disability?
Yeah, if you want to access our services, just go to our website, www.ccdnigeria.org, www.ccdnigeria.org. Also, you can call us on this number, 0805 1977 606 Let me call the number again, 0805 1977 606. If you call this number, if you send text message to it, somebody will respond to you. Anytime, 24 hours, somebody will respond to you. Also, we have another number, 01 453 5253. I call it again, 01 453 5253. These are our two, regular lines that anytime you call it, 24 hours, somebody's there to help. If you go to our website, you will see our email addresses, you will see other phone numbers you can equally call. You can visit us on our Facebook wall, Center for Citizens with Disabilities. You will see our Facebook. You can log in. Or if you are struggling, just go there, type David Anyaele, Center for Citizens with Disabilities. You will see all information that can guide you. Just type my name in any search engine. You will see, or Center for Citizens with Disabilities, you see our details. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, hold on. Right now, is the organization getting any kind of support from the Nigerian government or any other state government at the moment?
At the moment, CCD is not getting any support from federal government of Nigeria, financially or other resources. CCD in Abia State, CCD is not getting any support from Abia State government, financial or otherwise, because we have office in Lagos, our office is in Abuja, and also our office is in Umuahia. In Umuahia, our office is at number 71 Olokoro Street by Enugu Road in Umuahia. That's where our office is. So in these offices, we are not getting any support. Rather, in Abia State, CCD is supporting Abia State government in providing sign language interpreter on their school on class on television program, which they are using to help students in Abia State, during this lockdown. CCD is supporting Abia State government with sign language interpreters for that project. And CCD is also supporting Abia State government in different ways. In fact, last year, we were able to send 15 persons with disabilities to Egypt for them to learn coding and other ICT technology in Egypt, which was organized by the government and good people of Egyptian.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. William, go.
Thank you very much. Please, I want to know, since you're a native of Igbere, and we understand and know too well that we have persons with disabilities in Igbere, how have you been able to connect with them and to know how the challenges they face, or to provide them with necessary facilities or equipment to help them, or even to join in the CCD?
Thank you so much. In 2017, during the anniversary, I deliberately conducted a mapping on situation of persons with disabilities in Igbere. We had a meeting at Ibinuku Hall at Olowo there, where I invited as many persons with disabilities in Igbere as possible, for us to have interface, for me to understand, a kind of, a situation analysis of people with disabilities in Igbere. The situation is simple. Programs and activities being created in Igbere or being implemented in Igbere, be it infrastructure, be it palliative or support, people with disabilities in Igbere struggle much more to get benefits. We also observe that even when they invite them to come and take support, maybe during Christmas, they are sharing one material or the other, before people with disabilities will get to such places, such material has finished. That was what they told me. And they asked me that I should help them to ensure that they are remembered when philanthropists in Igbere wants to give support to indigent people in Igbere, that they should take appropriate measure to include them. What Igbere persons with disabilities are clamoring for is that they should be included. During this lockdown, the support we sent to Abia State through our partners we make sure that Igbere persons with disabilities benefit maximally. Also, we are also engaging Igbere philanthropists who are doing one thing or the other to keep advocating that such infrastructures they are building are designed so that people's abilities will benefit. Anywhere I see program activities being organized by philanthropists in Igbere, I take appropriate measure to draw their attention to ensure that such infrastructure activity are accessible to, in Igbere with disabilities. So these are some of the things I'm doing, beyond giving direct support to individuals in Igbere with disability. So these are some of the things I've done so far, and I want to use this opportunity to ask our big men, philanthropists, the politicians in Igbere, because we have a lot of them, that in the course of their designing their program and activities to benefit indigent people, that they should classify people with disabilities in Igbere as primero. They should give them priority. That is to say, if they want to give 100 items, they should be able to set aside at least 10% or 20% that persons with disabilities in Igbere should be able to benefit. The reason is simple. Many of them do not hear when this support is being shared. Many of them do not even know that such a thing is being shared because they are inside the room, they don't go out. Some of them, their businesses has collapsed. Many of them cannot even go to farm. I recall one of them told me that even where he farmed, that the family members tend to take it from, her because she's not able to go to farm to see what they are doing there. These and many others are some of the challenges that Igbere people with disabilities are undergoing. And I want to call on our philanthropists in United States, in London, in Europe, wherever they are. We can partner with you to reach out to indigent Igbere persons with disabilities, so as to ensure that they are not left behind in this pandemic, in the recovery support that will be coming up in the future. And I'm also calling on them to stop discriminating people with disabilities. In Igbere, we discriminate people with disabilities a lot. We treat them with disdain. I've passed through it. I know what I went through. It was a trauma that pushed me out from the vicinity where I would see my people. I moved to Lagos, where it would take time for me to see them. So what I'm trying to say is that our people should change their attitude towards people with disabilities in Igbere, so that together, all of us will improve. Nobody believes today that I'll be where I am today, to the extent that people will, be talking global, they'll mention my name. If I didn't get rehabilitation, if I didn't get access, if I was not being able, if I didn't receive support, I wouldn't have gotten there. And there are better people in Igbere with disability who can even do greater, much more than me. Unfortunately, they don't have access. Opportunities are slim, getting close to them. So that's what I would say for now.
Okay. Even though we are running a live program, but because of the needs that you just highlighted, I can't wait to say that the Igbere People Forum will donate the sum of 50,000 Naira after this program to the Center for Citizens with Disability. So let's continue. Let's continue.
Wow.
Let's continue. Let's continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. Let's continue. So my next question is, so how did you get involved with international communities such as United States?
Wow. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. I call it a miracle because I can't explain. Only the American people can say how they got involved with me, but I can't even explain how I got involved with them. The reason is simple. In my course of involvement in disability fraternity and engaging in policy advocacy and campaign, as I said earlier, I was trained by civil liberties organization on campaign, on lobbying, on advocacy in this country. So we are properly equipped to engage any stakeholder that will add value to the work we are doing. The first work we did here in Lagos State was to support Lagos State government to pass disability law. We call Lagos State Special People's Law, signed by Mr. Babide Raji Fashola in 2011. In the course of doing that work, in 2017, when we started it, we got support from the British Department for International Development, the DFID, where they saw what we are doing, and in their wisdom, chose to support our work. They build our capacity. They, help us to, to design institutional settings that can help us to achieve what we have set out to do in favor of people with disabilities in Nigeria. In the course of doing that work, we also got in touch with Ford Foundation. Ford Foundation saw the work we are doing and decided, look, that they need to support us, build our capacity, strengthen our work in order for us to do what we are doing. In fact, before we know it, the World Bank came in and others started coming in, to the extent that currently we are working with not just DFID, not just the Ford Foundation, we're also working with OSIWA, Open Society Initiative for West Africa, a branch of OSI, the Osoros Foundation, so just Soros Foundation. So we started working with them. Also, we work directly close with the government of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and also the government of Australia. These are, countries that are supporting us, giving us resources to do what we are doing from time to time. The work we are doing at CCD, was interesting to good people of America, to the extent that they send their diplomats to come to my office to understudy what we are doing. From there, American universities were sending their students to come to our office to do internship. Not just American universities, including here in Nigeria, universities like Babcock University, their students were coming to CCD to learn advocacy, to learn campaign, to learn how to do what we are doing, because we are promoting inclusion, participation, and people with disabilities involvement in governance. Because the primary work we do at CCD is to promote disability rights, independent living, and inclusion of people with disabilities in the development agenda. And this, we do it through research, through documentation, through capacity building, empowerment, advocacy and lobbying, and sometimes through litigation. Don't forget today that in 2003, 2004, up to 2006, I led a campaign that led to the arrest of Charles Taylor in this country. Because after Charles Taylor masterminded the amputation of my 2 hands, we worked in collaboration with 300 civil society organizations across Africa to lead a campaign against impunity, which led to the arrest of Charles Taylor and subsequent transfer to Hague for his trial. And today, Charles Taylor is facing, is serving his imprisonment in the Hague. So some of this work we've done around campaign, around advocacy, around generating documents to support Nigerian government to, to improve the living condition of people with disabilities, attracted US government. In 2017, they nominated me to be part of International Visitors Program of the State Department of the United States government. So at that program, American government invited me to come to US to understudy their work, to understudy how they are dealing with marginalized population and healthcare services. And this marginalized population include people with disabilities, migrants, and other people of color and others who are in US and their access to healthcare services. They led me to 6 states in US, from Washington, DC to Maryland, from Maryland to Florida, from Georgia to Reno, Nevada, many places, including Seattle, Washington. Many states I visited to study what they are doing, how they are, addressing disability issues. I was also able to study people with disabilities, how they're interfacing with their government, how they are able to achieve the passage of American Disability Act. All the knowledge I acquired during that process, I returned back to Nigeria to begin to use it to work. So that was how I got in touch with American government. That's how I got in touch with inter-community to the extent that they are supporting our work. If you want to know more, some of these organizations, go to our website, you will read them more, different activities we are doing. As I speak to you, we are still working with them and they are supporting us to ensure that the work we are doing is fruitful.
Okay, William, go.
There is a recent program linking you to the USA. Could you tell us more about it?
Yeah, thank you so much. You know, as I was telling you, my Interface International Visitors Program of the US State Department, that program, I was able to participate. I made contribution, I made input, and the result of the input I made and also learnings and knowledge I acquired, I took it back to Nigeria. Getting to Nigeria, I successfully led the campaign for the passage of the Disability Act. The act was signed by President Muhammad Buhari, January 17th, 2019. When I came back from US, I began the campaign. I restructured the campaign because we started the campaign in 2014. But before 2014, there were other persons with disabilities in Nigeria that have tried unsuccessfully to get that law passed until, you know, we took over from CCD and we began the campaign. So we did the campaign from 2014 to 2017. I was invited to US to strengthen my capacity and my knowledge and capability, you know, on engaging campaign and being able to secure success in such campaigns. So when I came back in 2017 to 2018, I strengthened the campaign for the passage of the Disability Bill at the National Assembly to the extent that we successfully secured the passage at the National Assembly, in which we supported both the parliamentarians, clerks of different committees of the National Assembly, ministries, department and agencies, up to the Attorney General of the Federation, in which, you know, we collaborated with them to ensure that the bill was, you know, structured properly in order to attract presidential assent. On January 16th, 2019, I had an interface with the President Muhammad Buhari, at the town hall meeting for presidential candidates of different political parties. He was there with the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo. During the interface, I drew his attention on his commitment in 2015, where he promised to partner with the parliament to get a law that people with disabilities. I also led him to understand that many soldiers that went to ECOMO peacekeeping operation, many of them lost their limbs, many of them are living with disability. And I also draw his attention that the disability bill, which he promised to sign, has been transmitted to him. Unfortunately, getting to 1 month, he has not signed it. That I request him to sign. In his response, the president said that he's not aware that the document has been sent to him, that he's not aware that they are not aware. But the following day, by the time we got back to his office, he saw that the document has been lying down in his office without anybody present, you know, put his pen on the paper. But that following day, he put his pen on the paper. I also led a protest march in Abuja, in which with people with disabilities, we went to his office to block entrance to Asu Villa, you know, to make sure that he understands the importance of this law to us and the need for him to sign it. It was that day we were doing that protest march in Abuja that the president signed that law. Ladies and gentlemen, as this campaign was going on, all our friends, our partners across the world, all governments that have been supporting us, they were monitoring the development. They were also watching to see the reaction of Nigerian government to the campaign, to me as a person, and to the people with disabilities, especially as the campaign was going on. They were also using their own media, to publicize the work we are doing and the response of the Nigerian government. So the moment the Nigerian government signed that into law, American government also got the signal. They were excited more than our people that the capacity they built on me, the equipment they gave to me, the knowledge they shared with me, that I was able to deploy it to achieve the success which more than 25 million Nigerians with disabilities are benefiting today. That is what excited them, that made them to say, boy, you need to come to US. We need to honor you with Gold Star because you've done noble. What we did 30 years ago, you have duplicated it here in Nigeria. In celebration of 30 years of the passage of American Disability Act this month, American government felt that it is good to honor me. That's why they are excited publicizing the work I'm doing.
Okay, thank you. Gentlemen, you have a very, very compelling story, and only you and somebody who has been in your shoes in one way or the other can tell. And then we also know that there are persons with disability faces so many different challenges, unimaginable, and faces so much discrimination in the society, either institutionalized discrimination or even personal discrimination, and then getting back to even family life. So this question right now, you don't have to answer, but if you don't mind, could you share your personal life experience regarding building up a family and the challenges you had? You don't have to answer, so it's up to you, purely at your discretion.
I must answer it because everything about me is story. Everything about me is story, and there's no story about me that is hidden. The struggle for me to build a family was another battle of my life. Because when I lost my limbs in 1999 was the year I intended to get married. Unfortunately, I lost my limbs that year. So the struggle to begin a life, to survive poverty, survive limb loss, survive discrimination, survive hardship, survive, inaccessible environment was huge on me. At a stage, I recognized that I need to get married, I need to have a wife. As I told you, I was raised in Aba. I've shared with you from 63 Dikenafa Road to 41 Aja Road to Aglana, Emonye Street to Ndosoro, near Ngwa Road in Aba. These are the places where we live. Up to 57th and 40th Road in Aba, So I had this attachment to my people, and I felt that it's important that if I'm going to marry, I should be able to marry from Igbere. Guess what? All efforts, the young ladies in Igbere, good ones, very good, from good families, were brought up, efforts to accept me as a suitor was resisted. In fact, one of them told me I should go and tell the mother. The mother was like, a person with disability cannot marry their daughter. So it was a huge task for me, conquering disability, but I know that I have a vision. God has a plan for me, that my future is bright, that it will be better as the year comes by, things will be better for me. So I have no doubt about it. But to other person who is not living with disability, who is not in my heart, he may not be able to key into it because, in our place, if you don't have money, if you are not, powerful, sometimes you may not be recognized. So for you to be recognized, you need to work hard, extra hard. Bros, you see, that was how I couldn't make it. But thank God, in one of the occasions, there was this particular lady, I was believing God that I'm going to marry. He's my church member. He's also from Igbere. And I felt excited that, look, we talk. It didn't work. In fact, my friend's wife told the lady, he said, lady, look, if you live here, the type of likeness and love this man have for you, if you live here, if you cannot confirm that it's possible, I will ask him to go back to Lagos and look for somebody to marry. And that was exactly what happened. The lady at the end said, no way. Immediately I left Aba, I went back to Lagos. By special grace of God, God blessed me with a wonderful wife, and today, the day I got married, it was highly celebrated. It was on all the media. AIT was there, NTA was there, it was used as news everywhere. It was all over the media, celebrating the success story of my marriage. And today we are happy. My sons are in secondary school. My daughter is also doing well in her school. So I'm happy. My family life is good. we are thanking God every day, you know, for his faithfulness, for his mercy, for his compassion, you know, towards us. That's why I say that if there's anything we need to work on in Igbere, is stigma, discrimination against people with disabilities. There's no need for it. There's no need for it, because disability does not discriminate. No matter how highly placed you may be, no matter how resourceful you may be, no matter the kind of money you may have in your pocket or the mansions you may build, you will not avoid disability in your lifetime. If you do not get disability at the young age, you may get disability at old age. By that time, you'll be 80 years old. You'll be working with Nkpaka. And if you're working with Nkpaka and the community is not accessible to you, you will see the pain of what you have created for yourself by your inability to join forces to say no, that discrimination and inaccessible environment should be, you know, enhanced. So that is why we are saying let's support each other. Let's identify vulnerable people. As I said earlier, we have persons with disabilities in Igbere that are far more educated, far more intelligent, far more sophisticated than me. But they don't have the opportunity. They don't have. If they have opportunity, they will ride and they'll make Igbere proud.
Okay, could you share the name of this your wonderful wife so that
and the children?
Anne Bafia, Anne Nkem Bafia, or near Delta State, Yosala, Miamboy Delta State, or near Opan Delta State, Ibewa. I do make 7 days. For a banana, Koya Machuku, Kesuyana Koya Kelechi, 1 1 Yana Koya Onyechi. So, yeah, Belay Habru River.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And may God bless you. God will continue to bless you.
Thank you so much.
All the days of your life.
Amen. Amen.
So now we just have to round up this program. What is the advice you want the general populace to have or to know? Or what do you want to tell the general public?
What I want to tell the general public is that there is a law that prohibits discrimination and harmful practices against persons with disabilities in Nigeria. It is called Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act, 2018. If you discriminate, if you abuse a person with disabilities, the person may take you to court. And if he or she does so, you are going to be liable for whatever government will say concerning it. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a criminal offense to abuse a person with disability, and that's what we have succeeded in doing. I'm also asking policymakers, individuals that have access to policymakers, those who have policymakers as their friends, politicians, when you are designing your program, when you are designing your intervention, when you are planning for the community, consider people with disabilities first. That's what the law says, priority, because they are the most vulnerable of the vulnerable social group. The cost of living with disabilities is more expensive. As I speak to you now, my artificial hand has packed up. I need 40,000 euro to fix my artificial hand as I'm sitting here. I need 40,000 euro to fix my artificial hand. So what I'm trying to say is that you can imagine, even as visible as I may be, to mobilize 40,000 euro to buy artificial hand is a Herculean task. I can't even imagine the day I will do it. So also, other persons with disabilities that are living in the rural area, people with disabilities in Igbere, they live expensive life because of their situation. So if it can take you, let's say, 200 naira to live a normal, to manage your life, to a person with disability, he may be requiring 600, he may be requiring 700. So you may dash him 500 naira and ask him to go and start business. And tomorrow he tells you that the business has packed up. You may say, Shibi, I gave you 500 naira. Why didn't you use it to do 1 or 2 things? But he may not tell you that the cost of living with disability is very high. Therefore, I appeal again that our systems, Igbere Welfare Union, as they are doing their program and activities, they should ask themselves, how would a person with disability benefit from this? How would a person with disability benefit from this? By so doing, we are taking steps to protect our own people with disabilities, and together we will get it right. Thank you so much.
Okay, now please make arrangement with the moderator, Mr. Williams Orji, so that he can come to Center for
Citizens with Disabilities
to present the gift that we announced in this program.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So
let me put on the chat my direct telephone line, or you can give me my direct telephone line.
Okay.
When you see,
I will
give you my direct telephone line. Yes.
He will get in touch with you. So just make an appointment sometime, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday or from there, so that you can get the funds will be available before that time.
Okay, I will try. I will do that as you advise, sir. I will do as you advise, so that we will be able to call for him to come and assess us and be able to share with us what you have provided. I'm really grateful, sir.
Thank you.
I'm really grateful.
So now, before we round up this program, Mr. William, your last word first.
Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you and share your situation. We would also want you to see reasons to bring this down home. So we have a head count of people with disabilities in Igbere, because we understand that they have union, but the union is not really strong. And we also know there are about 100 in Igbere. We also would want you to put down your ears towards this Igbere to ensure that they are all together. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I will do as you advise.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We will be appealing to the general public, especially Igbere people and anybody listening, to please find a way in your heart to support the Center for Citizens with Disability. They need to have the infrastructure, ways of communication. There are personal needs. He just told you. The artificial hands has to be replaced or fixed. This is funds that are needed. So we will have to campaign and appeal to the general public to help in this regard. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Next Saturday, we will be having another special guest, and then we will make the announcement. Thank you for joining us from those who joined us online. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you so much, sir.
Bye-bye.
God bless. Yeah, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.